So this video, it's more of an impromptu video. Why am I on the floor? We are still going to be working on this 40 breeder. It is not complete. I do not have any fish in there yet, so I apologize. But the water's looking very clear. It's looking great. I'll show you guys in a minute. But the reason for this video, if you can't tell already, is we're going to be making a lid for that. I know I've done previous videos on making lids, but this one's going to be a little different because I want it to be easier. Easier than my big hard plastic greenhouse siding sheets. But B, I want it to be more transparent. More transparent than the quick and easy lids that I did a video on. Probably my most recent lid video, which was using these. This one, I can't even remember where I purchased it, but it was definitely a bigger sheet than the ones from Michael's, and it feels a little bit more thicker. They use like a millimeter more of plastic for both the walls, but what we're working with is this one. All right, so this one we're just going to use as a stencil, but this one is not long enough to fit the full length of a 40 breeder, but that's fine because all we're using this for today is a skeleton. So it's gonna be a bone structure. See, this was $5. It's gonna be a bone structure to hold this guy. So this one, if you can see, was $3.99. This is from Hobby Lobby, and if I'm correct, I mean it's see-through, but if I'm correct, there's a film that's making it more opaque than it is clear. And if I remove that film, it should be a lot more clear. But I'm thinking it's on both sides. Yes, maybe. It looks like it. Yes, perfect. So if you can see, it's very clear. So we're going to leave that on because it's a protective layer. And what we're going to be doing is a lot of cutting. And I don't want to scratch up the actual plastic itself. So essentially this is big enough. Yes, almost exactly long enough for the 40 breeder, which this is going to be our lid, our top almost. But we're just using this so it can be structurally sound because this is very thin. It was $4, which I think is a great deal for this large of a sheet, but it's flimsy. If I just put this straight on top of the 40 breeder tank, do I think it will be okay if it's supported by the frame? I do, but I also would be more reassured because I am going to be moving it around a lot, just whether I'm, I don't know, feeding or doing water changes, filter media replacement. So I do want to have more of a solid structure for that. The main goal of this lid is to A, enable enough light through in case I want to add plants. B, eliminate or almost eliminate my water evaporation. And then C, to be cheap. I mean, we're saving money here. So just these two alone, $10, I guess, you know, 4 and 5, tossing some tax. I mean, you're probably around $10. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, should be good to go. I did get an extra sheet because I am going to be doing some more lids, probably on my smaller rimless tanks with those little rim clips that I made out of 3D printing plastic. But for this situation, we're probably just going to use this whole one and not have enough left over to do anything else. So I got another one. So first, you're going to remove the stickers. And then second, you're going to want to find out the measurements. But this is a cheap sticker and it's tearing on me. But we already have the older template for the previous lid. So I'm just going to use that. So of course, all of our applications, whether you're making a lid for your tank or I'm making mine, is not going to be the same. We'll worry about that later. But this is going to be the complete, minus this cutout, is going to be the complete size for a lid to fit on the inner lip of the frame. So if you can see, we are at an excess of, I guess that's better. We're at an excess of about 3 inches for the width, but we're definitely not making the length. We're probably about 5 inches short. So I am gonna make I guess a skeleton of a lid that I'm gonna cut along these lines. Now, if you guys remember from my last video, to cut against these ridges, these whatever the things are called, is difficult. To cut through them, not perpendicular, is a lot easier. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing much of that. We're going to be cutting straight all the way through all of the bones inside of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to line it up like so, and I have a dry erase marker that I'm just going to follow this along, make a line all the way down, and that should be easy. I also have my ruler, so if you guys have a ruler, a long enough ruler, you guys can do that as well. Take the exact measurement where you're going to take into account of the frame and the lip and measure that. So if I just measured it now from the inside of the lip to the inside of the other lip, it's almost 17 and a half inches. So I can do that. I can go to 17 and a half, make a mark. I'll go to the other side, 17 and a half, make a mark, line it up, draw a line straight down, which I might as well do because you guys might not have the template already. So let's just do that. All right. Line at 17 and a half. Another line at 17 and a half. So if you guys can see those two little dashes I made at 17 and a half, I'm just going to take this ruler, make sure I'm connected to those so it's straight. I'm going to do this on the ground. You guys probably can't see it, but excuse me, sir. I'm going to just take my marker and go all the way down. So this is what I'm left with, and it should be exactly or close enough to what this is, which is close enough. I think that's okay. All right, so I probably got about 1/4 of an inch gap. So I'm going to make sure I cut on the inside of that thick black line. But for this, you're going to need a nice utility blade. I got one of these ones because I used to use ones from like the dollar store, which did the job, but they were definitely flimsy. So I'm going to take my ruler as a guide. You don't need it, but I want it to be straighter than it would be if I just cut it freehand. And then I am going to make sure I go along that line, but I'm probably going to bring it in a little bit because I know there's some size discrepancy. And I wonder if I should just aim this downwards. All right, so this is what we're looking like. The line's there. Again, I could cut it like this, but that's gonna mean I gotta use my right hand or cross over, and that's just dangerous. So I'm gonna have to cover the line a little bit because the blade's gonna be on this side. I'm gonna be going straight down pretty firmly. So this is the line. I wanna shift it over just a tiny bit and hold it tight where it is. You're gonna probably make more than one cut. Go down, keep that ruler down, But this is also, oh, I'm shifting, a brand new blade, so it might go through in one go. So unfortunately, I can already see that I'm shifting a little bit. All right, one go. As you can tell from the line, I did go slightly on angle, so I'm closer there than it is up here. But let's dry fit it. All right, all right. So dry fitting it, it is short. Just kidding. It is long. So we're gonna recut a little bit more, which I'm gonna essentially do the same thing because I measured incorrectly. It's always better to err on the side of it being too little cut off than too much. Mainly because you could always cut more off, but you can never add more on unless you want it to look janky. All right. So hopefully this time it's going to be a little bit more straight. And I just want to double check. Measure twice, cut once, guys. Okay. All right. So this is what we shall do. I'm going to cut it down one more time. It's going to be the same thing, so I guess it's not too important that you guys are seeing what I'm doing. All right, this time it's allowed me to straighten it up a little bit where it should be pretty darn close to even. And of course, it's not that even. All right, so it fits. If you guys can see it, it's sturdy enough. So now what I'm going to do is a little bit tricky now. I want to create two things. Kind of windows, so there's more light penetration. And then secondly is a hinge opening for a lid. So I think I'm trying to debate, because if I can make the opening and a window the same thing, it would be a lot easier. But I just don't know about the structural integrity. I should have planned that. My original plan, cut out 2 square windows for the light. But then if I made a little hole right here for a lid opening, that would run into the other pieces. So essentially, I think I'm just going to have to make those windows a little bit smaller, or make them only the size of the light, if that makes sense. Which that would actually probably be better to do, now that I think about it. So let's do that. So this is going to be my light. So it's roughly 6 inches. So let's go back to the drawing board. So if I want to do this how I think I want to do this, it will be roughly like this. that. Let's see. It's about 8 inches. I think 8 inches is fine. Let's go 8 inches from here. All right. And then we will bring it back down. So about that. So that is what we're looking at. This is going to be the cutout. And this board will support the film that we're going to put on. Now, it doesn't go all the way, so there's going to be about 4 inches a gap between the end of the rim lengthwise and this plastic board, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. I was thinking I was just going to cover it up with the remaining plastic, but I've got a better idea. This little trim piece, I am just going to use it on the other side. I'm just going to put it up against my rim, actually. The frame, and then mark where I need to cut it. Let's cut this first. So this one, we're going in the empty slots, so it's super easy to cut. So that is a little snug fit. I can probably shave a little bit off, but I want snug because this guy, if I do it correctly, is never going to move. It's never going to come out. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm going to leave that there. We'll worry about my airlines later. All right, so let's cut out this guy. We'll do the difficult cuts first. Across to the other side. So I am putting down a fair amount of force when I'm cutting, which is allowing me just to do it in one pass. And then the easy peasies. This guy. All right, that is done. Now we've got the frame. I made these pieces a little bit thicker because too thin, it will still lose a little bit of structure. But last thing I want to do is make a little clear spot. Let me see. So in my last video, one of the little tricks that somebody, one of the viewers posted is that I can still have this as a lid if I don't go all the way through. But since I'm going against the I don't even know what they're called, the twin wall frame things. I don't know if I can do it this way, but we're gonna try. So I've only cut it a little bit, which doesn't pass all the way through, and boom, it does work. So this services as a lid where I can do feedings. That will definitely work for now. If this happens to degrade or get fragile and possibly even tear over time, you can just stick a piece of packing tape on it and it'll probably work for a lot longer. I don't know where my cap is for this, but now that that's done, I can actually use a lot less than I wanted to. So for this piece, I don't need as much as I was gonna need. So next step is we're gonna mark out exactly how big we need this to be. So I'm gonna go over a little bit just so I have the excess, which I'll show you why you need later. And I can barely see it, but I haven't tried. I think this is thin enough where I can cut with scissors, so we're gonna give that a go. It definitely is, but it is giving stress marks on where I'm cutting, which I'll show you guys what the heck I'm talking about after I've cut this. So originally I thought I wasn't gonna have enough material because of wanting to do it a different way, but this way we're saving more material, which saves us money, which is always a good thing. It does cut pretty easily. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see those little cracks along the sides? Those are what I'm talking about for stress marks. If you can't see it, good. But if you can, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So now that that is done, this being the top because of how this is gonna flip up, you're gonna see how it looks. So it's gonna be roughly like this. And I cut it a little bigger because I want overhang, because I want to eventually glue this into place. I think on the inside will probably look a lot cleaner, right? So I'll glue it into place on the inside, like so. And let's skip to when it's done. All right, so I glued it, but I ended up using tape around it just for reinforcement, just in case. I don't know if it's gonna matter or not, but this, let me get this guy off. This is the outcome. Not bad. After I get rid of the sticker, it's not bad. So let's go ahead and pop this guy on the tank. Let me show you what it looks like. And then let me show you what the light output looks like as well. Now, even without this completely clear plastic piece, I know the light output for this, just the white plastic sheet. I forgot I got this guy in there. Is not bad at all, especially with the stronger light. But for video sake purposes, we're just gonna see what it looks like all said and done. Let's do that. Let me actually get this. Is one of my clear handles. You guys have seen me use it on my other lids. I'm just gonna fix this to the top of this little lid. Once I find my mounting tape that I use, I might just glue it on.
And then actually, I am, sorry guys, I'm gonna tape this extra piece on to the side of the lid as well. Okay, so this was looking like two pieces, and the lid and the feeding cut out. Looks good. Let's take you guys over here. All right, so that's the tank itself. Super clear, right? Nice. Here's the lid. Let's pop the light on top. Now the light is gonna go right above that clear opening, and boom. Amazing output. You can see the whole opening. This is where the clear part is. All right, that's what it looks like. And just for, I'm gonna put this on top to cover that, and you guys can still see the output is gonna be fine. This is with it open. That's what they're covering. I don't even think there was a difference. I'm gonna back it up. Covered. Opened. Can you guys tell? I think it's very minimal of to notice it. Only time will tell to see if this plastic piece is gonna end up looking like crap because of the water splashes, any hard water stains. We'll see. We'll keep in mind, because my other one, the plastic started to get crusty and have calcium buildup. But we'll see how it goes. But I think that's good for now, and I'm digging how it turned out. As you guys can see, the tank is looking fine. I'm just gonna do another water change and fill it up, and then I think it should be ready to go. That's how the wood's looking. I think I'm gonna take out that floating piece because it just won't get waterlogged. That's everything else. This is my Home Depot substrate. All right, Home Depot rocks, Home Depot gravel, Home Depot sand. Tell me what you guys think. Okay. All right, I think that's it. I gotta make dinner, but hopefully you guys learned something in this video. Leave a comment, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.